Hi everyone, this is Michael with the general reading for Cancer for the month of May 2019. This video is meant for Cancer Sun, Moon, Rising, and also cross watchers if you're checking in on a Cancer that's close to you. Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. I hope this video finds you well. I know we are moving out of Aries season and we're coming into this Taurian energy, kind of bringing things to a nice slower pace. I think it's much more comfortable for Cancer in general to be moving out of this fast-paced energy. So I do hope that you enjoy your May. Just really quick for the astrological update, we do have a lot of things are actually happening with Mercury right at the start of May. It's going to be squaring, I want to say it's squaring Saturn and Pluto, and that's going to be in Capricorn. So I think there's going to be this high potential for a lot of disagreements at work, and that's just going to be for everyone kind of across the board. However, it's also going to be sextiling with Gemini in, or I'm sorry, Mars in Gemini. So there is this ability to potentially advocate for yourself and to navigate things if you're careful. It could be an opportunity to advocate for yourself or for other people. So just something useful to keep in mind. We do also have Lilith that is moving into Pisces on May 3rd. That's going to be a very interesting transit. It's going to be a very powerful window to do shadow work. I believe it's going to be there for 9 months, if I'm not mistaken. I know that Lilith goes through the zodiac every 9 years. So it's going to be there for a while. Again, you can always check the astrological notes I took. It's in my blog down below. You can find that link in the description box. I feel like this is going to be a good time for shadow work. It's going to be a good time to see the ways that we kind of sabotage ourselves. So that's very exciting. We do also have, what else is happening? I mean, we have a lot of planets that are going to be moving into Taurus towards the middle to end of the month. I believe Venus is going to be there around the 15th of March, so adding some stability to relationships, to finances. It's a very nice placement. Venus is definitely at home in Capricorn, being its, or I'm sorry, at home in Taurus, being its ruling planet. So I think that'll be very nice for a lot of people. It's also a good time of year for dates, if that's something, if you're throwing yourself out there, it's definitely a good dating season. I do also feel like, what else is happening? What else is happening in May? There is a Scorpio full moon. I think that is the 18th, and that's going to be potentially trining some of you. Obviously, that's going to depend on your specific natal chart. If you don't know what a natal chart is or what I'm talking about, you can actually enter your birth information down below. I have a link. I think it's to astro.com or some sort of astrology site, and it will generate your birth chart for you. So if you're curious as to what your other signs are as well, that could be very useful. Before we begin our actual reading, I'm just going to disclaim, like always, that this is a general reading, meaning not all of the messages that are coming through are meant for you. It is up for you to discern what is resonating for you and what is to be left behind. You are your own best psychic, so there's that. If these messages don't resonate, you're definitely welcome to check out the other signs. So if you're able to check out your moon or rising sign, you can also check out one of the other readers on YouTube. There's so many fabulous readers on the internet nowadays, and it's amazing. We really do live in an amazing time. I remember a year ago when this was so obscure, and it just seems like this is a booming community, which is amazing. And of course, I'm glad that so many people have come. So come here. So thank you. What else? What else? I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, I am also going to be starting love readings this month as well. So if you're interested in that, it's going to be for people who are single and relationships all across the board. It's going to kind of depend on the message, I think, but we'll see. We'll give it a go. We're all going to try. We're going to find a way and we're going to make it work. That's why we are the Waymaker. So we'll see. Expect that around the middle of the month to kind of start trickling in. So I think that's it for all the updates. I am going to start with the read Nope. Before I do that, I was shuffling the deck, kind of trying to figure out which sign to do next. For those of you who don't know, I actually draw a card to figure out what sign I'm supposed to do, and that's kind of what determines the order. I did pull the Queen of Cups for you upright, which is a very lovely energy. I think a lot of you are in a very powerful time psychically. You're very emotionally attuned, very sensitive to your surroundings. So whatever's kind of going on, I think you're kind of taking it in, which, that's just very Cancerian in general, right? We do also have this 10 of Swords that came up in reverse, and this came out with your card actually. So this tells me that a lot of you are really moving on from some sort of heartbreak. You're definitely becoming much more resilient this year. I feel like you're really stepping into your power. That was kind of a theme last month as well. I just feel like you're moving on from this defeated attitude. You're really stepping out and regenerating. And I think just letting go of what was lost. So, and this is not an easy thing to leave behind. This Ten of Swords is pretty devastating. So whatever it is that you're walking away from, I just want to congratulate you. You're doing really well. If no one's told you that, you're actually doing much better than I think you even realize, Cancer. Especially being so sensitive, especially being so empathic, I guess for lack of a better word. You your gentleness really is your strength. It's so easy to go through life and to not feel things. It's actually a very brave choice to feel. So I just feel like that's something you need to hear right now. Anyway, let's get on with the actual read now, shall we? I'm going to start shuffling the deck. Okay. I was just told 2 times. Usually it's more than that. Sorry, I feel like this camera is crooked. It's hard to get an angle, honestly. My setup is very, very basic right now. Thank you all for your patience, by the way. I know my backdrop is not super interesting. I did try to change it up so at least there's something behind me. I do have my crystals here as well, so they are adding to the energy of this read. But yeah, I am hoping to kind of get a better backdrop eventually. I'm kind of limited with my space right now, to be totally honest. But yeah, let's see what we have for the cards. Ooh. Wow. Wow. Cancer. Wow. What have you been going through? We have the Sun. Beautiful card. I love the art on this card. They're very shiny, so I want to make sure that you're able to see them, but they're gorgeous. They're luminous. We have the Fool. Wow. And we do have Death. Whoa. All major arcana. That is telling me that in the past, coming into this May, you went through a lot of stuff, a lot of really big change. Whenever these major arcana show up, that tells me that there was a lot of karmic shift, a lot of resetting, and that's actually not surprising. I did forget to mention in the astrological report, a lot of the planets that are in Capricorn right now, which you're definitely feeling very strongly, being your opposite sign, are actually going retrograde. And I think in a way it's kind of pulling back some of that intensity, and it's giving more of a period to reflect and to kind of recuperate. I do see with this Sun card, you're feeling like there was just this new beginning or this new clarity, this new lease on life. And it's so, so powerful. I feel like some of you might have had some sort of spiritual awakening or just some sort of new beginning. It could potentially be with a partner. I do feel like this is also Leo energy, so some of you might be also living or working with a Leo or just very close with a Leo. And that was very beneficial for you leading up to May. If I'm not mistaken, there actually was a Leo that came up for you last month in your reading. That's interesting. I'm not 100% on that, but I do kind of vaguely remember that. It could be for another sign too. We do have the Fool kind of in the emotional position as well. I feel like some of you just took a chance. You took a leap of faith about something that you felt really passionate about, and it seems like you really took a step in the right direction. Although it definitely, even though there's all of this new beginning, all of this new energy, I still see with this Death card, there was mentally still a lot of clearing that was taking place for you, a lot of letting go. And that was kind of indicated with the Ten of Swords that just came up for you when we were shuffling the deck earlier. I'm sorry, the Ten of Swords in reverse. That does kind of indicate this need to move on, but there definitely was some shedding, there definitely was some loss and some transformation. And to be honest, with all of this energy, I feel like you're still going through a transformation this month as well. But it seems like it's actually, there's a lot of benefit that is coming from it. And if it doesn't seem apparent now, it's going to be apparent very, very shortly. I'm very curious to see what animal wisdom we have for you as well. Owl. Interesting. Yeah, so this is definitely a very spiritual time. I was saying it felt like some of you were going through a spiritual awakening or just having this new way of seeing the world, this perspective shift. And Owl is very much about seeing the light in the darkness, navigating a dark night of the soul, finding abundance where most people are blind. You can see the treasure in an experience that isn't always easy, but Owl will just take in the experience. That's the way they eat. They take in their prey whole and they just regurgitate, or they create owl pellets for what they can't digest. So all the bone and the fur. But you really are doing, there was just a lot of downloads for you, and it was a very, very psychic time. I feel like you're coming into May very intuitive, and that was sort of being shown in the indicator card for you, the Queen of Cups. So there's so much powerful energy. Wow, 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 wow. Um, you know, and I do also just want to say, some of you, there's definitely some Leo energy here. There could also be an Aries. This is kind of an Aries card to me, the Fool. And some of you might have also been communicating with a Scorpio as well. And they might have been helping you with this transition, or they might have been helping you kind of let go of things. But whatever it is, it feels like you're moving on. This doesn't feel like heavy. I mean, there's definitely some shedding, but it's like it's really clearing the way for you and your life. And it's almost like people might not be seeing that you're going through such a hard time, because even a good adjustment is still an adjustment. It's still stressful, especially when you're very sensitive, and Cancer, you are a sensitive sign. Wow. I can't wait to see what we have in the first half of May for you. Okay. Interesting. So we do have this Five of Pentacles that came out first, the Two of Wands, and the Artist in reverse. So with these cards, I am feeling like, with this Five of Pentacles here, there is this feeling of kind of being a bit lonely in your day-to-day life. It almost feels like this is almost like a work situation or home situation. Someone might have been, actually, what I'm really getting strongly is I feel like because of all of these changes that have been happening to you, you're feeling very isolated. You're not really sure who to come forward with. That's what's really coming in strongly, actually. It's almost like you're doing this Five of Pentacles. You're kind of turning people away, and you're isolating yourself at the beginning of May. I think you're trying to figure out where it is you're supposed to go with this Two of Wands here, especially being in the emotional position. You're really looking out into the horizon. You're really trying to figure out where it is that you want to go. I see some of you might also be making travel plans. Some of you might be trying to move as well. And you might potentially be, I'm not sure. It seems like after this big high of energy, it's kind of like, well, now what do I do with it? Is almost the sense I'm getting for May. And that makes a lot of sense because we are entering Taurus season, so all of this action that was happening in Aries season, it's kind of slowing down a little bit. It's kind of a pause here, and it's just meant for you to figure out what it is you want to do next, how to go forward, how to find stability amidst all of these changes that you're going through. And with the artist in reverse, this is very interesting because this energy, the artist upright, is someone who is able to channel the divine. They're able to bring the dream world into reality. And being in reverse, I feel like you're having a hard time expressing all of this energy, all of these downloads you've been having. It might be a bit difficult for you to share that with people. And I am definitely seeing that with the Five of Pentacles. It feels like it's you trying to navigate, how do I go forward? How do I express all of this? Because you have this new lease on life in a way. You know, this is interesting. Some of you might also be feeling creatively blocked as well. Some of you might feel a bit spiritually blocked. After all of these downloads, it's almost like they're kind of shutting down the third eye for a minute just to give you a break. So that might be something to keep in mind. You've been very psychic up until this point, so don't be alarmed if there's kind of a toning down for a little while. It's just temporary. But it's a good chance for you to kind of figure out where you can go with all of these changes. What is the animal wisdom for you at the start of May? What is the animal wisdom for Cancer at the start of May? Let's see. That's too many. A lot of messages that want to come through, I guess. Interesting. Yeah, so I'm not surprised to see this. We have the Vulture card. Don't be afraid. This isn't a scary card. I know Vulture can be a bit intimidating to see, but it's actually a very beautiful card. It's kind of a blessing in disguise. This card signifies a need to bring things into balance. There's still some digesting that you need to do, and there might be some clearing that needs to occur. I think it's almost like getting your energy in order is what I'm really getting with Vulture. I know to bring into balance, the book suggests using sage in your space and cleansing your space. That could be either physically cleaning it or energetically using energy or Reiki to cleanse a space. I do feel like there is still some stagnant energy, and it's almost like this is, I almost wonder if this is why Five of Pentacles is showing up for you in this way, why you're kind of distancing yourself, which isn't usually the interpretation for this card, but it just is the overwhelming sense I get. You're kind of, you might potentially be turned away by a group of people as well, but I am actually getting more the sense that it's almost mutual. And you're just kind of cleansing your friend circle or the people in your life. You're trying to figure out what is supposed to stay now. And if you're having a hard time figuring that out, actually call in this card. Actually call in Vulture as a spirit guide for you. That's why I love this deck so much. If you feel like you're alone or you're struggling on some part of your journey, you can actually invite this animal energy to assist you. So some of you may want to do that with Vulture. We are going to now look at the end of May for you, or kind of the outcome of what is going to happen from all of this. It might be further out than May. Do keep that in mind. Time, honestly, in these readings is very fluid in general because it is a general reading. It's applying to a wide audience. So it's kind of just take everything with a grain of salt. But interesting. We do have Temperance that came out for you. We were just talking about a need for balance, and Temperance is all about balancing your life. I feel like you're going to kind of have a much more balanced workspace or home life after all of these changes, or just your day-to-day life, the way you approach your life is going to be very harmonious. And that's beautiful. Some of you might also be dealing with Sagittarius by the end of the month. someone who, or someone who embodies that energy of a Sagittarian, someone who's very adventurous and potentially somewhere kind of elsewhere. Two of Wands is also kind of that Sagittarian energy as well, kind of gazing out into the world, trying to figure out where it is you want to go. I think if you're patient, you'll have a better sense of what it is you want to do with your life. But this is a beautiful card. And this is also kind of a love card, I have to say too. This could be very harmonious, especially if you are in a marriage or you're wanting to get married. There may be a very strong love connection for you, which is beautiful. We do, however, have this Eight of Wands in reverse, which tells me there might be some blocked off communication still for a while. You might have a hard time expressing yourself still. And I think that's okay, because I feel like you're still kind of finding your own equilibrium. You're still trying to figure out your own energy. And you don't always need to share that with people. And I'm not saying keep it private from everybody, but you don't need to let everyone know what exactly is going on. I almost get the sense that this is more advice. You'll kind of know the people who you can express yourself with. We do also again have a Knight of Wands here. This is actually a Sagittarian card as well, so I actually do think that a lot of you are going to be communicating with a Sagittarius or a fire sign. Knight of Wands could also potentially be a Scorpio, but regardless of whatever the astrological significance is, this is a person who can kind of come in and out of your life. This might be someone from the past, potentially, especially if there was a Leo or an Aries. I feel like if it's a Sagittarius, it might be new. But regardless of those signs, this is just someone who, to be honest, this can kind of be a bit of a player, someone who kind of just comes in, does the one night stand, you don't really hear from them, and then a few months later they might text you or call you, and rinse and repeat. That's kind of the energy with this card. Although, I do have to say, with this Temperance card, I almost want to say this fire sign, this person who you're getting this impression of kind of coming in and out, there actually might be some real potential here that's actually something to consider. We'll have to figure out more during the love readings, right? But I am actually getting kind of a strong love connection here towards the end of May, or potentially even in June. And that's actually been coming out a lot for the collective. It's been coming up in a lot of my personal readings, for myself and for other people. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is something that's coming for you as well. I'm just going to take one last bit of animal wisdom here. That's too many. Ooh, okay. So we have two cards that came out for you. We have the mouse card, and we have the lizard card. So right away, guys, with these two cards, this is telling me that there's actually a need to work on a creative project, which is interesting because we did have the artist in reverse at the beginning of this month. There is some sort of project, it does feel artistic, that's going to require your exacting eye. With the mouse, it's kind of this controlling energy. You might be a bit nitpicky, to be honest, but it's almost like this anxiety, this trying to figure everything out, this trying to make everything happen. This card is really telling me that it's important that you put this mental energy elsewhere, to something that would actually benefit. So this could be a creative project, this could also just be a work project, something that requires a lot of detail, a lot of focus, something that will help you take your mind off of whatever it is that you're trying to control to no avail. It will really help you find this balance, and I actually think it's going to help you kind of tap back into this artistic energy. With the lizard card, again, this actually kind of reminds me a bit of the Queen of Cups that we had at the beginning of the reading, because lizard is very sensitive to its environment. When this card shows up, it's kind of time to pull away from the hustle and bustle of daily life and to reconnect to nature, to really, I almost want to call it an artist date. If you've read the book The Artist's Way, it's this practice of doing something that nurtures your creativity, going out by yourself, and potentially in nature is what I'm getting really strongly with this card. But this could also just be going to a museum by yourself, going somewhere that's quiet and calm, and just drinking in that energy. I think it will actually inspire you. When I think of lizard, I think of the fact that it's a cold-blooded creature, so it gets its energy from the external source of the sun. And there is this need for you to kind of bask in an into an energy source. I do feel like that's going to be necessary for your spiritual path as well, but it will have a creative benefit for sure. And it's again, I feel like this is kind of the return of this psychic energy. I don't think it's really going to be gone for too long. I know I said that it's going to be dulled down a little bit at the beginning of May, but honestly, with this vulture card, I do feel like there's going to be some mediumship for you as well. You might be feeling ancestors or friends from the other side, or potentially spirit guides. So do pay attention to your dreams, or just pay attention to those signs from people who have departed, because I feel like they are guiding you through whatever transitions you're going through. But it looks like this is amazing, Cancer. I'm so curious to hear what is going on for you. I am not getting any more messages for you at this time. I do hope that this reading was helpful. I hope it resonated. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. Definitely let me know in the comments down below what is going on for you. And if you would like to book a personal reading or donate, I have all of that information in the description box as well. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Bye, Cancer. Happy May.